The top stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. assures ample supply of rice in the country. Former Philippine National Police Deputy Chief for Operations Lieutenant General Benjamin Santos Jr. denies his involvement in the alleged cover-up during the drug buy-bust operation in October 2022. The Department of Migrant Workers urges displaced overseas Filipino workers with unpaid claims from Saudi Arabia to follow the imposed process and contact the DMW. And the North Korea launches a new type of ballistic missile towards Japan Sea. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Friday, April 14, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Hardy Delgado. First in the news. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. assured the public that the country has ample supply of rice and his administration is doing its best to control the price of the staple grain. Nel Maribohok reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. assured the public that the country's rice supply is in good shape after reports that the retail price of rice may increase by 5 peso a kilo in the next few weeks because of lower import volume and high farm production cost. PBBM said the government is exhausting all efforts to maintain prices of rice in the market.
Mukhang maganda naman ang sitwasyon natin, hindi tayo magkukulang sa bigas at tinitignan natin lahat ng paraan upang ang presyo ay makontrol natin at hindi naman masyadong tataas.
President Marcos Jr., however, pointed out that the National Food Authority or NFA needs to buy its buffer stock from the local producer, which drives the price up to ensure a sufficient supply of the grain.
Magpaplano kami kung kailangan mag-import, kung kailangan magparami ng buffer stock sa NFA dahil masyado nang mababa. Yun lang ang nakita namin problema, mababa ang buffer stock ng NFA. Kailangan bumili yung NFA para umabot siya ng at least 9 days na buffer stock.
The government, the president said, needs to make sure that the NFA will be able to build up its buffer stocks for now. Under the Agri Department's 2023 supply outlook, the country's total supply is at 16.98 million metric tons, which is sufficient to cover this year's demand, estimated at 15.29 MMT. Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Former Philippine National Police Deputy Chief for Operations Lieutenant General Benjamin Santos Jr. has denied his involvement in the alleged cover-up during the drug buy-bust operation in October 2022. Eileen Cerudo will tell us why.
There was a lack of due process and further consultation when the closed-circuit television camera or CCTV footage was used to implicate former Philippine National Police Deputy Chief for Operations Lieutenant General Benjamin Santos Jr. in the alleged drug bust cover-up.
I strongly deny any involvement in whatever impropriety or infraction of law or standard operating procedures, if there are any, in the alleged cover-up in the buy-bust operation.
General Santos was one of the police officials identified by Secretary of the Interior and Local Government Benjamin Abalos Jr., who was involved in the alleged cover-up of the 6.7 billion pesos worth of shabu seized in October 2022. He also denied that he was aware of any plans to not arrest Major Sergeant Rodolfo Mayo Jr. and claimed that he insisted on Mayo's arrest.
Nung tinignan ko yung maliit na bolt, nakita ko yung ID ni Mayo. Oh, sabi ko, ito na to. Nasaan to? Hulihin nyo to. Pailan nyo ng kaso to, inquest nyo to. Oh, yun ang nangyari. Kaya inisis ko,
During a press conference, General Santos said that his statement is supported by Senator and former PNP Chief Ronald Bato de la Rosa. According to Santos, the senator did an interview corroborating what transpired at the scene. The former Deputy Chief for Operations also said that he was only present during the operation to congratulate the troops for a successful drug bust. He reiterated that he was judged without being heard.
I've already been judged in the court of public opinion by reason of pronouncement of the SILG. The name that I built for more than 32 years was smeared. All due to a simple appearance in CCTV footage that has no context or even weight in the proper fora.
SILG Abalos has asked the police officials, including General Santos, to take a leave of absence during the probe of the alleged cover-up. Eileen Cerudo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The National Water Resources Board, or NWRB, has approved additional water allocation for Metro Manila and nearby provinces. Starting Sunday, April 16, the Angat Dam will release 52 cubic meters per second, or CMS of water, an increase from the current 50 cubic meters per second. This is to support the demand for water supply for Maynilad customers. Maynilad earlier announced that around 1.1 million connections were affected by water service interruptions. The concessionaires noted that they received less of the allocation due to the leak on the pipes that connects Angat Dam down to Ipo and La Mesa dams. The new allocation will last until the end of May 2023. NWRB said that the Angat Dam has enough supply and rainfall is expected to add to the water level. The low-pressure area, or former Tropical Depression Amang, is now in the West Philippine Sea, or WPS. As of 3 a.m. today, April 14, the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAG-ASA, located the weather disturbance at 195 kilometers west-northwest of Iba, Zambales. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms will be experienced over Zambales and Bataan due to the said LPA. Meanwhile, in Metro Manila and the rest of the country will experience isolated rain showers and thunderstorms due to localized thunderstorms. No tropical cyclone is expected to enter the Philippine area of responsibility this weekend.
And for our news abroad. In his 4-day official trip, U.S. President Joe Biden visited the Republic of Ireland and declared in his speech in front of the Irish Parliament that he had returned home. President Biden also expressed his support for the peace process in Northern Ireland. From London, United Kingdom, here's Joanna Ochoa to tell us the details live. Good evening, Joanna.
Jonna, in his historic address to the Irish Parliament, United States President Joe Biden said that he had returned home and was hoping that he could stay longer. The US president proudly stated his Irish roots, where his mother, who was born in the US, had Irish ancestors. Biden says that the United States was shaped by Ireland and hoped to recommit to peace, equity, and dignity. He also added that there was nothing the two nations couldn't do if they worked together. He also wants the United Kingdom to work closely with Ireland to support Northern Ireland. The US president had a banquet dinner in his honor at the Dublin Castle for his final engagement of the day, hosted by the Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar, joined by other Irish leaders. He celebrates the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement that brought 30 years of violent conflict in Northern Ireland to an end, as it has changed people's lives across both Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. Meanwhile, the US president planted an oak tree and rang the bell of peace twice, which was established in 2008 for the commemoration of the 10th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement. Jonna?
Thank you, Joanna, for that live report. For the 12th day in a row, numerous demonstrators and laborers in France have protested against President Emmanuel Macron's suggested pension overhaul. Marvi Delphine will tell us why.
Almost 380,000 people gathered in the streets across France on Thursday, April 13, just a day ahead of a crucial legal verdict on the validity of the Divisive Act concerning the administration's proposal to elevate the retirement age from 62 to 64. The president insists that this is the only approach to ensure the system's sustainability. Protesters broke into prominent establishments such as the headquarters of luxury brand LVMH or Moet Hennessy Louis Vuitton and a restaurant favored by President Macron. At least 47 people have now been arrested in Paris, and 10 policemen have been injured after being hit by projectiles such as stones and smoke bombs, according to the Paris Police Prefecture. Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo took to Twitter to express her support for the protesters and urged the government to listen to them. Meanwhile, the suggested age of retirement remains lower compared to numerous European nations, where it stands at 65. However, demonstrators are compelling authorities to reconsider their stance. Marvi Delphine, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
A United States Air Force National Guard member has been arrested by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or FBI, for releasing Pentagon documents that contained highly classified information. Motive for the leak is still unknown. Annie Reyes-Mancilia will give us the details live. Good evening, Annie.
Good evening, Jonah. U.S. officials were scrambling to investigate a source of the Pentagon document leak earlier this week, but finally arrested 21-year-old Jack Teixeira, a U.S. Air Force National Guard member, on Thursday, April 13. The documents, which included sensitive information about the Ukraine war and other military information, were reportedly leaked through a Discord chat by Teixeira, who is also a leader of an online gaming group chat. In early March, the documents began to spread, exposing sensitive information to members from different countries around the world. The 21-year-old is charged with a crime for sending out classified military information and will be subject to charges under the Espionage Act. No motives or details have been released as of late, but according to Brigadier General Patrick Ryder, the spokesperson for the Defense Department, Teixeira's actions were criminal in intention. Meanwhile, House Intelligence Committee Chairman Mike Turner has vowed to investigate the reason why the leak occurred and how it was neglected for a long period of time. Back to you, Jonah.
Thank you, Annie, for that live report. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Harleen.
For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. Groups of private driving institutions agreed to implement the new price cap of the Land Transportation Office, which will take effect starting tomorrow. JP Dunez will tell us why.
The Philippine Association of LTO Accredited Driving Schools, or PALADS, supports the new price cap for theoretical and practical driving courses, which is set to be implemented by the Land Transportation Office, or LTO, starting tomorrow, April 15. According to its president, Marlene Alanigue, the fees from driving schools which are from their members range not far from the new prescribed maximum fee of the LTO.
Talagang ini-adjust namin yung presyo dahil ang target market naming mga maliliit na driving school ay yung masa din.
Yesterday, LTO, spearheaded by Chief J.R. Tugade, had a consultation with PALADS and the Association of Accredited Driving Schools of the Philippines Incorporated, or ADSP. According to the agency, both groups of private driving institutions comply to implement the new policy. The maximum prescribed fee for TDC should not exceed 1,000 pesos, while PDC for motorcycles should have a ceiling of 2,500 pesos, and vehicles should not exceed 4,000 pesos. Driving institutions that will charge more than this may face fines from 50,000 pesos up to 100,000 pesos and revocation of accreditation depending on the gravity of their violation. Meanwhile, for those who are still planning to get their driver's license and those who have experience paying more expensive TDC and PDC, the new price cap is more affordable.
Mas affordable kasi sa case ko kasi nung ng TDC mahal siya, so para abutin ka na din ng 10,000, syempre magko-commute ka papapunta, and better nga na mas lumiit.
Before, nag-aalangan kami na sobrang taas kasi nung fee na babayaran, and with the new implementation ng gantong policy, feeling ko mas magiging accessible na siya. Mas affordable po kaysa before.
Kasi nga, kung masyado mataas, paano yung iba? Katulad ko na hindi naman ganun kalakihan yung sahod, so mas maganda sa mga matututong magmaneho na mababa yung makuha nilang presyo for driving.
LTO Chief Assistant Secretary Tugade said the agency is still open to suggestions and appeals from concerned stakeholders on the new policy. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Health, or DOH, inspected the National Center for Mental Health, or NCMH, in Mandaluyong City to assess the situation or condition of overcrowded patients yesterday afternoon, April 13. It was led by Health Officer in Charge, Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere, with other officials of the DOH and the NCMH. They also assessed the Pavilion 4 and 8, or the Male Forensic Ward, and the Female Disability and Geriatric Ward, if patients can be moved to the newly built pavilion in the said hospital. Earlier last March 27, 2023, Senator Rafi Tulfo conducted a surprise visit at the NCMH to find out the situation of citizens who are reported to be crowded in the hospital pavilions. According to Vergere, they have also requested the office of Senator Tulfo to discuss the needed improvements for the hospital. Vergere adds patients can also be transferred to the newly built extensions of the hospital facility.
Ililipat na natin ang, I think, almost 60 of our patients coming from this pavilion, itong forensics pavilion na nakitang medyo congested para po ma-decongest. Nakakita rin po tayo ng dalawang pavilion pa na medyo hindi naman ganun kadami ang naka-admit, na pwede pa rin nating ilipat yung ibang pasyente from this forensic division or pavilion dito sa mga pavilions na to.
Meanwhile, according to Vergere, they have also talked to other concerned agencies to ask for help for the patients classified as discharged or competent to be returned to their respective institutions.
So we are trying our best to decongest itong mga pavilions na medyo congested. Nakasulat na rin po tayo sa mga concerned agencies para makahingi ng tulong for these patients who had been classified as discharged and competent already, so that they can be returned already dun po sa mga sa kanilang mga kailangang lagakan sa ngayon while waiting for the case to be heard in their trial court.
The Department of Migrant Workers, or DMW, urged displaced overseas Filipino workers with unpaid claims from Saudi Arabia to follow the imposed process and contact the DMW. Janice and Hente will tell us why.
To ensure that the 10,000 displaced overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs, with unpaid wages from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will receive their claims as soon as it is released by the KSA government, the Department of Migrant Workers is strongly urging ex-KSA OFWs who were affected by the bankruptcy of some companies in KSA from 2015 to 2016 to have themselves listed as claimants on or before May 1. According to DMW DFW Secretary Susan Ople. OFW claimants can send their names and other employment details via email as soon as possible.
Hinihingan na kami ng listahan ng claimants. Dati, kanya-kanyang email ang worker. Ngayon, gusto nila yung gobyerno na ang magbigay sa kanila ng listahan ng claimants para madali na nilang ma-validate. Ngayon, maraming naluksuhan na mga dating proseso na sa tingin namin patunay na dalawang panig yung Philippine government at lalo na yung Kingdom of Saudi Arabia ay talagang gusto na rin maka-move on, matulungan na yung mga workers maka-move on at lalo na yung kanilang mga pamilya.
DMW appeals to all legitimate claimants to please get in touch with them through Saudi claims at dmw.gov.ph. The email should contain the contact details of the worker and his or her record of employment in Saudi, including or residence number in Saudi, old passport number, salary amount, and expected amount of claims. Claimants are also advised to include their contact details and address in the email. If the claimant is no longer alive, the appeal extends to his or her widow or widower or firstborn child.
Paano kung hindi marunong mag-email? Pumunta lang po kayo sa inyong munisipyo, city hall, hanapin nyo yung peso manager ninyo, o kaya kung may OFW desk kayo, o lumapit kayo sa any OWA regional office, or magpatulong kayo sa amin.
Ople said the May 1 deadline for submission of details of OFW claimants will give them ample time to process the names ahead of the May 24 bilateral meeting of the Philippines and Saudi Arabia. She said the timeline and mode of payment will be discussed during the meeting, and once the KSA government approves the list, payment will be made. Janice Enhente, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The management of Metro Rail Transit Line 3 or MRT3 has recommended the installation of platform screen doors in train stations. However, the MRT management has stated that there are no enough funds available to install the barriers. Bernadette Tinoy will tell us why.
The Metro Rail Transit Line 3 or MRT3 recommends putting platform screen doors or barriers to avoid further accidents amid the jumping incident last Wednesday, April 12.
Kasama po sa ating rekomendasyon ay yung mag-install nga po ng sinasabi nilang platform screen doors, no, or yung mga barriers na nakikita nyo rin sa ibang bansa.
According to MRT3 Officer in Charge Assistant Secretary Georgette Aquino, the agency is pursuing the implementation of the barriers. However, there are no enough funds for the proposal.
Atin pong ibabalik ang pursue sa ganitong rekomendasyon kung kakayanin ng budget.
Meanwhile, MRT passengers agree with the implementation of the platform screen doors for the safety of the public.
Pwede naman po kasi if it's for protection naman po ng mga sasakay po, syempre pwede naman po para maiwasan din po yung mga aksidente nga po.
Well, if it's for the safety of the passengers ng mga commuters, I believe yung engineering team ng MRT 3 is doing their part on their research, no, for the safety. So I think wala naman magiging problema kung i-implement nila yun for the safety.
MRT3 continues to advise the public to avoid the yellow line in train stations, especially if the train wagon hasn't stopped yet. Bernadette Tinoy, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Residents in Hokkaido were urged to take shelter after North Korea test launched a new ballistic missile toward Japan Sea. Shari Zongbowen will give us the details live. Good evening, Sharice.
Good evening, Jonah. South Korean and Japanese officials detected a missile launch from Pyongyang, North Korea on Thursday morning local time, April 13, which caused a scare to residents in the northern region of Japan. Officials say that it appeared to be a new ballistic missile with an intermediate to intercontinental range that possibly used solid fuels as a propellant. North Korea's state news agency later confirmed the test, saying that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un guided its new solid-fueled Hwasong-18 intercontinental ballistic missile. The agency added that the launch had no intention of negatively impacting their neighboring countries. This was the country's first test of a missile with such features, which is one of many high-tech weapons Kim Jong-un vowed to build to defend the country against the U.S. military threats. Prior to the launch, the United States National Security Council released a statement criticizing North Korea's plan to test its weapons as it violates multiple UN violations and puts tension in the Eastern Asia region. They also added that the U.S. will take all measures to ensure the safety of its allies in the region. The region of Hokkaido was temporarily put on emergency alert, but it was later cancelled because the missile was expected to land outside of Japan's territory. Back to you, Jonah.
Thank you, Cherise, for that live report. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Gianna Pravado, live from London, United Kingdom. Good evening.
The Department of Agriculture, Cordillera Administrative Region or DACAR has confirmed that 2 barangays in Pinukpok, Kalinga Mountain Province recorded cases of avian influenza. This prompted local officials to tighten the monitoring for the entry of all poultry products in the region in all border checkpoints.
Tuloy pa rin yung natin doon, yung tuloy pa rin yung quarantine natin doon, especially yung travel ng di lamang ng manok, yung yung baboy, yung travel, no. So kaya na-record natin tong mga to. And of course yung coordination with the Provincial Agriculture Office at saka yung Municipal Agriculture Office.
Officers of the DA Livestock Division are now surveying fields to validate and assist the needs of the provincial local government to mitigating the spread of avian influenza in the region, such as self-monitoring and surveillance before culling procedures. Fishermen and other oil spill affected residents in Barangay Dangay, Rojas, Oriental Mindoro urged the government to speed up. Today, they received food packs from the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD. However, they will have to wait for 2 weeks to receive another supply of aid. Residents said the goods are only enough for 3 to 5 days, depending on the size of the family. The salary of workers from the government Cash for Work program has also been delayed by 15 days. Even if they want to go fishing in nearby provinces, as promised to the fishermen, they still don't know what to do because no one is communicating with them. Meanwhile, DSWD spokesperson Assistant Secretary Romel Lopez said that the assistance of the department to those affected by the oil spill in Oriental Mindoro is 217 million pesos. According to the report of DSWD Mimaropa, more than 97,000 food packs have been distributed to the residents.
Yun nga ang panawagan namin na sana bago pa tuluyan kaming magutom, bago pa matuluyang tumigil ang aming mga anak sa pag-aral, sana dumating na yung sinasabing programa ng gobyerno para sa amin. Sa totoo lang, mabagal. Kagaya niyan sa food packs na binibigay nila sa amin, mahaba ang pagitan bago makarating, hanggang saan lang yung binibigay. Hindi sapat, sa totoo lang. Kaya sana
After 4 months of waiting, the results are out. Almost 4,000 law graduates passed the 2022 bar examinations. Some of the passers could not contain their happiness for making the bar, while its top-notcher did not even expect clinching the top spot. This report will tell us why. The Supreme Court has released today the results of the 2022 bar examinations. Out of the 9,183 bar takers who completed the exam, 3,992 passed the bar taken in November last year. The passers obtained a total average grade of 75% and above, with a passing rate of 43.47%. The top 5 law schools with the most number of bar passers are Ateneo de Manila University, San Beda University, University of the Philippines, University of San Carlos, and University of Santo Tomas. Czar Matthew Dayday of the University of the Philippines topped the bar with 88.8% rating. Matthew recalled the moment that he and his family got the news, noting that he did not expect securing the top spot.
Naiyak ako. I mean, I was with my family. We were all just crying, screaming, very incoherent. Oh my gosh, I'm number 1. Gonna. Honestly, feel like there's still a lot for me to learn and there's still a lot that I don't know. Now, I really just want to be exposed to as many things in the profession as I can, to learn more, to grow with the people around me, with the people in the firm, as well as my batchmates then.
Second placer Erickson Marinas is also elated with his achievement.
So when I heard it, sobrang excited, sobrang happy na yung hard work all paid off. And that I can continue to do what I'm doing right now, which is working sa firm namin.
Both Matthew and Erickson are working in a same law firm in Makati, together with 7 other UP graduates who made it to the top 30. Other bar passers and their families who went to the Supreme Court became emotional after witnessing the results.
Grabe, sobrang saya po kasi sobrang hirap po ng pinagdaanan from law school ilang. Actually, na-extend po ako ng a year because nag-fail ako sa ilang subjects. So, during bar exams, parang kailangan ko ma-redeem yung sarili ko. Di ko din expect, pinag-pray ko lang talaga.
Yung pangarap po namin ng pamilya namin na nagkatotoo. Labing isa ako nagpapasalamat sa Panginoon sa binigay sa aming blessing. Hanggang hindi mapapantayan yung ibinigay sa akin kasiyahan bilang isang magulang na nagsumika po ng gusto.
Associate Justice Benjamin Kagiwa congratulates all the passers. He also advises those who did not pass the bar to take it as a temporary setback and continue their will to become lawyers.
The bar examinations cannot begin to, nor will it ever measure the weight of your convictions, the strength of your courage, the depth of your compassion, and the height of your dreams.
The oath-taking of new lawyers will be held on May 2 at the Philippine International Convention Center. For the full list of 2022 bar passers, visit the official website of the Supreme Court at sc.judiciary.gov.ph. Jardine Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God. Our Kasangbahay. As the world faces these trying times amid the pandemic caused by coronavirus, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity from Monday to Friday, 9:30 p.m. Philippine time through the social media accounts of Members Church of God International. And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 6, it says, "They helped everyone his neighbor, and everyone said to his brother, 'Be of good courage.'" And those are the reasons behind the news April 14, 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am Jardine Delgado. We serve the people, we give glory to God.